Young and the Restless, spoilers, full. Hey everyone, it is 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I am wide awake because my mind is absolutely racing after that episode. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's dive right into this absolute mess because I need to vent, and I know you guys are the only ones who will truly understand my frustration right now. I am literally shaking as I type this. I cannot believe what they just did. Jack Abbott in handcuffs? Actually being hauled away by the Genoa City Police Department like a common criminal? I mean, I have been watching this show for years. I've been watching since 2015, and this is honestly the absolute best and worst thing they have ever done. I am sitting here staring at my screen, half cheering and half screaming at the television. Because let's just jump right into the thick of it. Billy won. Billy Abbott actually won a war against his own brother, and I am so here for it. Am I the only one who is 100% Team Billy on this? I know some people are loving the whole Jack as the wise, untouchable patriarch of the Abbott family narrative, but personally, I am so incredibly sick and tired of Jack's endless hypocrisy, and we need to talk about exactly how this all went down, because the sheer, unadulterated audacity of Jack Abbott is blowing my mind into a million pieces. We all saw the setup. We all saw Billy crash Lily and Kane's little celebration party to drop the massive, earth-shattering bombshell that the Abbott family technically owns Chancellor Industries. All because of that ancient, unpaid financial bailout from John Abbott that everyone apparently conveniently forgot about. So Billy does the legwork. Billy digs into Jill's files, Billy connects the dots, and Billy brings the ultimate prize right to the Abbott family's doorstep. Chancellor Industries, the crown jewel of Genoa City. You would think Jack would be thrilled. You would think Jack would throw his arms around his little brother and say, "Wow, Billy, great investigative work. You really saved our family's legacy and expanded our empire." But no, of course not, because Jack Abbott cannot physically handle it when someone else in the family gets a win. Jack cannot stand the idea of Billy being the hero. So instead of praising him, Jack gets furious. Jack gets absolutely mind-bogglingly angry that Billy is demanding to be named CEO of Chancellor. I mean, let's just pause and analyze Jack's thought process here, because it is so deeply, fundamentally flawed. Jack looks down his nose at Billy and decides, in his infinite, arrogant wisdom, that Billy just isn't mature enough to be CEO of Chancellor. Jack actually has the nerve to stand there and lecture Billy about maturity. Are you kidding me right now? Jack Abbott? The man who was literally just being blackmailed for sex by Patty Williams? The man who let Diane Jenkins play him for an absolute fool for months? The man who has made so many catastrophic business and personal decisions that I have lost count? That Jack Abbott is lecturing Billy about maturity. It makes my blood boil just thinking about his smug face, and it is just so incredibly selfish. Jack's entire motivation here is pure, unadulterated selfishness. He doesn't want Billy to have power because Jack is terrified of not being the smartest, most powerful guy in the room. He wants to control John Abbott's legacy all by himself, and he uses this fake, patronizing excuse of Billy isn't ready to keep his brother down. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself, because the firing scene is what really pushed me over the edge. Jack didn't just tell Billy he couldn't be CEO of Chancellor. Oh no, Jack went full dictator. Jack fired him. He fired his own brother from Jabbo, and he completely shut him out of Chancellor. I was screaming at my TV. The absolute disrespect. Billy found the secret, Billy did the work, Billy brought the company to the table, and Jack just tosses him aside like yesterday's garbage. He completely stripped Billy of his titles, his livelihood, and his dignity in one fell swoop. And who does Jack appoint as the new CEO of Chancellor? Kyle. He appoints Kyle Abbott. I am sorry, but I actually laughed out loud when he said that. Kyle? The nepotism is so blatant, it is actually sickening. Let's talk about Kyle for a second, because this choice just proves how completely blind Jack is. Jack thinks Kyle is a better, more mature choice than Billy. Kyle is currently sneaking around, having a forbidden, highly taboo romance with Victoria Newman, completely betraying Claire behind her back. Kyle is the same guy who was just making secret, highly illegal pacts with Patty Williams in a prison cell to get revenge on Victor Newman. Kyle is a reckless, arrogant, entitled brat right now, and Jack just hands him the keys to Chancellor Industries? It is the most hypocritical thing Jack has ever done. Jack is so blinded by his love for his golden boy that he cannot see what a massive mistake he is making. Remember when they tried this with Kyle a few years ago? When they tried to make him the ultimate boy wonder CEO, yeah, didn't work then either. Kyle always lets his ego get the better of him, and putting him in charge of Chancellor right now, while he is morally bankrupt and messing around with Victoria, is a recipe for absolute disaster. But this is where the story gets so good. Because this time, Billy didn't just take it. In the past, Billy would have just gone to a bar, gotten drunk, gambled away his sorrows, and let Jack walk all over him. But not this time. Billy got mad. Billy got even. And I am so here for this new, ruthless version of Billy Abbott. So Billy feels completely insulted and betrayed, as he absolutely should. And instead of whining about it, Billy took legal action. He sued. He went straight to the police and he blew the entire thing wide open. And this is the twist that I did not see coming, but it makes so much sense. It turns out, Jack didn't just make a bad business decision by firing Billy. Jack was actively, illegally, hiding John Abbott's true will and the legal documents that proved the bailout and the ownership of Chancellor. Jack was hiding John's will. I can't even process the level of betrayal here. John Abbott was the moral center of this show, and Jack has spent his entire life trying to emulate John. But John would be rolling in his grave if he knew Jack was hiding his final wishes just to maintain control and keep Billy down. That is a federal crime. You can't just hide legal documents regarding a multi-billion-dollar corporate bailout because you have a petty sibling rivalry. Jack's ego is so massive that he actually thought he was above the law. He thought he could just bury John's secrets forever and no one would ever find out. And then the police showed up. Oh my God. The scene at the Abbott mansion. The flashing red and blue lights reflecting off the windows. The absolute pure shock on Jack's face when he realized Billy actually went through with it. Jack always thought Billy was all bark and no bite. But Billy brought the entire police force to his front door. And Diane's face was priceless. She has been running around trying to play the perfect, supportive wife, and now her husband is being read his Miranda rights in his own living room. I couldn't stop smiling. Jack getting arrested is the ultimate karma for years of him acting like he is the only Abbott who matters. I just keep thinking about how Victor Newman must be reacting to this news. Victor is probably sitting at the ranch right now, sipping his tequila, laughing his absolute head off. The Abbotts are destroying themselves from the inside out. Victor doesn't even have to lift a finger to ruin Jack. Jack is doing it all by himself because of his massive, fragile ego. Okay, back to the point. Billy won. Billy is the ultimate winner here, and it feels so incredibly satisfying. He exposed Jack's crimes, he secured his own position, and he proved to everyone in Genoa City that he is not just the family screw-up anymore. He is a force to be reckoned with. But I also have to wonder what this means for Billy's future, especially with everything else going on in his life. He's engaged to Sally Spectra. And we all know Sally is pregnant. They are trying to build a life together. And Sally has been so worried about Billy's stability. She was literally just crying to Audra about whether Billy could be a good father. Well, Billy just proved he can fight for his family's legacy. But at what cost? He just sent his own brother to jail. That is going to cause a massive, unhealable rift in the Abbott family. Tracy is going to be devastated. Ashley is going to lose her mind when she finds out. Billy won the corporate war, but he might have just permanently destroyed his family in the process. And what about Lily and Kane? We cannot forget about them in all of this chaos. Lily just found out her entire company, the legacy she has fought so hard to build and protect, is basically owned by the Abbotts. And now the Abbotts are in a full-blown civil war. Kane was ready to go to war with Billy. Kane was threatening Jack, telling him to put a leash on Billy. But now Billy has the police on his side, Jack is behind bars, and Kyle is supposedly the CEO of a company that is currently the center of a massive criminal investigation. Chancellor Winters is going to be thrown into absolute chaos. I know some people on the forums are going to say Billy went way too far. I can already see the comments. Billy is a traitor. You don't send your own blood to jail. But honestly, I am not hearing it. Jack brought every single ounce of this on himself. Jack could have shared the power. Jack could have acknowledged Billy's hard work. Jack could have honored John Abbott's true will. But Jack chose his ego over his brother. Jack chose control over the law. Jack's ego finally collapsed under its own weight, and I do not feel sorry for him one bit. I am just so incredibly invested in this storyline right now. The writing has been absolutely on point. The acting from Peter Bergman and Jason Thompson has been phenomenal, and the drama is just top-tier soap opera goodness. Watching Jack's face fall as the handcuffs clicked, was a moment that will go down in Y&R history. I really want to know what you guys think about all of this. Are you Team Billy or Team Jack? Do you think Kyle is actually going to try and run Chancellor while his dad is sitting in a jail cell? How is Diane going to handle the fallout? And seriously, what is Victor going to do with this information? I feel like we are just scratching the surface of this corporate war. With John's secrets finally coming to light, the entire landscape of Genoa City is going to change. Jabot and Chancellor are never going to be the same. I am going to be glued to my screen for the rest of the week. I need to see Jack in that orange jumpsuit. I need to see Billy walk into the Chancellor CEO office and kick Kyle out. I need all the drama, all the tears, and all the corporate backstabbing. Let me know all your thoughts, your theories, and your predictions down below. I know I am rambling, but I am just so hyped up right now. Thanks for letting me vent, guys. You are the best. I am going to try and get some sleep now, but let's be real, I am probably just going to lay here thinking about how Billy Abbott finally became the king of Genoa City.